Rise and Shine Rwanda is Tuesday, the 8th of March.
Good morning. It's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Ivan Magwene.
And me, Yvette Shibusho.
Over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, sports and business headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And of course, as usual, Yvette has the latest in business. Yvette, what do you have for us today? In business and lifestyle, of course.
Since I'm doing both now. Well, in business, I'm going to be talking about Airtel. They have a new product, and then there are the news. And then in lifestyle, given the fact that it's Women's Day and no one has wished me Happy Women's Day, I don't know what's wrong with you.
That was coming up. Come on. Don't spoil the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, so since it's Women's Day, we're going to be looking at two of our ladies. And that is the First Lady of this Republic and of Rwanda, and also the one in the Republic of Kenya.
All right. Moses, what's up in the sports world?
Well, the Rwanda cycling team has actually not a best start in Algeria and African Continental Cycling Games that they are now participating in. But well, maybe they might do much better in the next rounds, but I'll tell you more how they had a slow start.
All right. Well, all that and more still to come, but first, Rise and Shine, story of the day. Welcome back to Rise and Shine, story of the day with me, Ivan Magwene. Now, of course, today serves as the International Women's Day. This year's National Women's Day celebrations have been held in Nduba sector in Gasabo district under the guidance of the National Women Council and the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion in collaboration with Imbuto Foundation. The International Women's Day is celebrated globally under the theme Planet 50-50 by 2030. Step it up for gender equality, which is told to encourage men and women to act for positive change. However, since each country comes up with a local theme, Rwanda's celebrations will be under the theme Step it up for gender equality, strive for women empowerment. So in our story of the day, we celebrate, of course, women. Now, of course, Yvette, as you requested on earlier, Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful, yeah.
All right.
Happy Women's Day to all the women out there.
Absolutely. And of course, it's Women's Day. And I don't know, what does that mean normally? Does it mean we have to leave out everything and
celebrate the women? Yes.
Definitely.
Although it shouldn't be on this one day, it should be every single day.
I mean, it should be like, I have to cook for you. I have to, do something much better.
In fact, you guys should have bought me coffee and lunch.
No, it's just now 7 o'clock in the morning. So don't worry, after the show, we'll take you somewhere.
All right. Now, people, we have been lucky enough to grow in a country where women empowerment has been a great success. Rwanda has the biggest number of women in leadership positions in parliament, particularly. Rwanda has seen tremendous growth in terms of the girl education. Rwanda has seen women come up and occupy very influential positions in this country. And of course, as the world says it, this is a success story. And of all the affirmative action that has been put in empowering women, it has yielded some good response. But how do you see a woman today in Rwanda? As a woman in the Rwandan society, what do you think has really, where have you seen the change going, and where do you think we're going so far?
Of course there is change. I mean, all over the world. I mean, I remember women were not even allowed to go to school. There's this university, the American University of Beirut, and it was founded a very long time ago in 18-something. So, and women were not allowed to go to school. you know, but as the years have gone by, decades and decades have gone by, we have come to the realization that educating a woman, educating a girl is more important, even, it should be important, you know, than even educating a man. Because when you educate a man, you educate one person. But when you educate a girl, you're educating a whole nation.
Absolutely.
You know, because we might not be the breadwinners in all the family households, although sometimes these days we could be. But we are the nurturers of life. You know, I mean, we carry life within us, and then once we are able to give life, we nurture them. We nurture our children, and you know, those are the ones that are the future of any generation in any country in the world. So yes, Rwandan women have they do hold influential posts, and a lot has changed. I mean, now you look at us. We have in parliament, we have the highest number of
around
women
64%.
serving. Yes, serving in parliament, and that is something that is quite inspirational in Africa, you know, especially in Africa, given the fact that women are usually inferior to men in African societies. So yes, we have gone further. I mean, we see women everywhere. Women are also, you know, riding the motos, they're driving the buses. There's nothing we cannot do. I think it's high time that you realized what a man does, a woman does better. So I don't really want to I just want to talk about it in general terms, how women have changed and are really taking up the leadership roles in the different sectors in our countries. And it's something very inspirational, and only something that encourages others to do the same.
All right, Moses, I'm pretty sure you also have seen the tremendous growth even in the women empowerment in Rwanda. Yeah. But where do you specifically think that the world should learn from Rwanda especially? I mean, that focal point where you think the world needs to put their attention and learn certain policies, certain affirmative actions that Rwanda has used to make sure that the woman today we see is indeed a success story.
Definitely. Basically, what happened to Rwanda is about 30 years ago in Rwanda, because when we go about almost 10 to 7 years back, before we had genocide in Rwanda, you know, it would, for some family, it was almost a crime to have a newborn as a girl, you know, because most of them really wanted to have boys. You see, but when you look at the tremendous, after the tragedy in 1994, how the government of Rwanda has worked to unite people, and they realized that the best way to unite people is through women, because when a mother takes 10 children to sit down and talk to them about peaceful and equality and, you know, working hard, education and stuff, you know, it's easier for any child to understand and, you know, actually get it properly than, let's say, a father, you know, actually trying to explain that. Not only that, even if you go in education sectors, in economical sectors, and in different aspects of life, social and you know, in the society in Rwanda, you see that women actually plays a bigger part, you know, in every aspect, in everyday life of us. I personally, I admire my mom because she has played a bigger impact in my life. You know, I'm not saying that my dad hasn't, but I'm saying that she played a much bigger impact. And the fact that, you know, whenever you have a problem, the first person you call is your mother, because she listens quicker and faster, and she's even much more keen to help, most of the time, much better than the fathers. But for Rwanda now, the fact that we are the first country to have that higher percentage in leadership positions in any government in the world, and also the fact that you see the empowerment of women in different economical sectors in Rwanda. We look at some of the places that really, some of the sectors actually that really caught my attention. Let's say like girls in ICT, that has been one of the tremendous, you know, sector that has really brought in many young girls and, you know, empowered them in different aspects of life. I look at Imbuto Foundation, you know, whereby you see the first lady of the country actually pledging to support, empower, you know, enable, you know, and give possibilities and opportunity to different young girls and women in different aspects of life. So Rwanda is actually the only, you know, I'm not saying the only country, but it's one of the countries, one of the country in the world of which every country in the world looking after to learn how did they do it and what can we learn from them.
So it's a good example. It sets the example
Yes.
in all sectors, actually.
Yeah.
So, Yvette, you've seen the unique story of a Rwandan woman, but of course, you've seen the unique story of different women around the whole world. But in your own way, what do you think are the day? Because part of this year's theme is women empowerment and striving for that, and part of the world's vision is 50-50 by 2030. It's basically more of women empowerment. But I want to know, what do you think are the struggles today of a modern woman, and what do you think what could be done in order to solve them? I need to know, what are some of the daily challenges now that we're in this era of women empowerment? What are the modern challenges that you see that women face today, and a way we could address them? Maybe if you have an idea of that.
The list is so long, but what I can say, one of the things is, in the corporate world, ladies are not regarded as equals to the men. When it comes to positions, like let's say Director General or these high-ranking positions,
CEOs.
CEOs and CFO, women are not usually considered. If there's a man and a woman, yes, a man and a woman, the man will probably be more considered compared to the woman. So there's still that gender inequality, I feel. And also, another thing, as in general, there's so much pressure on the woman. In general, there's so much pressure. There's pressure to get an education. There's pressure to be of certain, let's say, not really appearance, but yes, also that's a pressure. There's certain pressures in terms of appearance. There's pressures in society in terms of the fact that once you get your career, immediately you should be able to have gotten married. If you get married too late, then that is an issue. Then you're focusing too much on your career, or you're focusing too much on your children, or focusing too much on taking care of your family. So we have the pressure of juggling everything, and at times, not every woman is able to, because we're all, built differently. Others can take up the pressure, others it's just too much for them. So there's the pressure of being all-rounded, being a good mother, being the best in your career, being the person to take care of the household, being fit, being everything. And that is something that should stop, because at the end of the day, we're also human beings, and we might not have it all together, but trust me, we are really trying.
Could you have a solution to that maybe in your mind?
I feel, obviously, the first would be stop putting so much pressure on us, and realizing that we're also human beings. But in terms of gender inequality, obviously, it's just a matter of weighing out qualifications. If the woman is most qualified or does the work better, then fine, that she should be the one to get the job. So eliminating gender inequality in that sense would be best.
I'd love to ask you this simple question. How do you envision a world of gender equality in your own mind?
Oh, that is like heaven somehow.
Let's say heaven was both.
It's a glimpse of heaven, because that way we will be equal in everything, in every aspect, whether it's leadership. And I think that's why I become so happy when I see a woman president. I'm like, okay, at least something is happening, And even in whether, also when there's gender equality, I believe also we'll be able to switch roles. Because I'm the breadwinner and I'm the woman, and I'm the breadwinner, you don't have to feel bad, because we're equal. Remember, just because you're going to be staying home.
Men should bring down their ego.
Yes. Yeah. And their superiority, and let us be on the same same level. So I believe that once we have gender equality, we can also be able to switch roles without feeling the other role is too inferior. So if I'm the breadwinner and you're not, then you won't think I'm superior to you, because why will be equal? So I think that's one good thing.
Yeah, well, Yvette said something as she was winding up. I want to ask you exactly, before you even talk about any other thing, do you think in a world that we live in today, with our emotions as men, with our pride and ego, will we have what she says, bringing down at that level where you feel like, well, you're a woman and you're the breadwinner, bring it home, it's fine, I can be very fine with that? Do you think that's a possibility right now, or we're just looking at dreams and speculations?
No, definitely that possibility is there, because when you look at what women has made us be as men, because there's anything that a woman would need from a man,
I want you to be true in your own way.
No, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. And the moment that those possibilities start coming up, because there's always it's not just something that comes in within a day or within a year and just get implemented straight away, because this emotional control is always something that takes a little bit of time for someone to feel like, well, she's able and I am able, so we are 50-50 equal. So it's not going to be easy as we just say right now, but there is a time, and I believe, there's always someone to initiate something, and then other people will follow. So I'm pretty sure that the way Rwanda started, and the fact that we have 64% in the parliament, it means that we might even end up being 80. But it's not it's not that we don't want men also to be involved, but it's because they can be involved in other different sectors, and we let women also play a bigger part. But there's one sector that I feel it still lack a lot of effort, a lot of involvement of women, which is entertainment and sports. So yesterday and today I was actually watching. There's a leadership meeting.
And this is in Rwanda or generally in Africa?
General, in Africa specifically.
Okay.
Even in Rwanda we have that problem, because when you look at the women football, it's not well participated like the men's football, because it's not.
So there needs to be affirmative action also.
Definitely, I would challenge the Federation of Football Association in Rwanda, and also challenge every football association in the world, because we've seen some of the like Lydia Sekera, who is actually part of the committee member of World Government Body FIFA, but she's the only black woman there, which means there's still a lack of involvement of women, especially in African countries, to be involved within the entertainment and sport industry. So that is one of the sector I'm saying, because I'm a sport presenter, not that, but I also say to challenge every single person that is involved in those sectors to actually involve more women and give more possibilities. To actually, I would like to emphasize this: don't allow ladies, girls, and women to feel like if they play sports, they should seek for another job to help them survive. Should be sport as only one job to do, and then
because for the men it's also one job.
Yeah. All right. Well, we wrap up from there. I mean, this talk is really interesting, and of course, we would like to share it with our viewers at home. By tweeting at Rise and Shine RW. Well, as we celebrate Women's Day, we should applaud also every stakeholder that has helped Rwanda register achievements in promoting gender equality and empowerment of women, ranging from enabling policy, legal and institutional framework, enhanced socio-economic and political participation, and setting up a global pace for equality between men and women. You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Story of the day, Yvette Shumbusho is up next with business.
Flying has become such a breeze. With Rwanda, you'll save on money and time. Fly for as low as $249 to Entebbe, $280 to Mombasa, $305 to Nairobi, $329 to Dar es Salaam, $329 to Dubai, $505 to Accra, and take advantage of 35% discount to more destinations across Africa and the Middle East. For reservations, please dial 07881 700 or email reservations@rwandair.com or contact your preferred travel agents. You may also book and pay online via rwandair.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Business stories making headlines today. As competition in the telecom sector gets tighter, Airtel Rwanda has launched a new business-oriented product to provide customer-made end-to-end business and enterprise solutions with cutting-edge technology. Philip Onzoma, the director of Airtel Business, said the new product is designed to meet requirements for every business, regardless of its size and geographical location. Onzoma added that the Airtel Rwanda is capitalizing on its exceptional data technology. Barclays will reduce its interests in Africa by selling part of its $4.9 billion stake in Barclays Africa to cut the cost of compliance in the UK. Just last week, Barclays chief executive Jess Stanley said that the lender would sell its 62.3% interest in African business, Barclays Africa Group, in the next 2 to 3 years. The Africa Business Unit offers investment banking and plastic money, Barclays card, and has a presence in the Kenyan, Ugandan, and Tanzanian markets. This represents a drastic change from September 2015, when John McFarlane, the lender's chairman, said Barclays would increase its shareholding to 78% in its African business unit. Rwanda's private insurance sector is expected to recover this year after registering losses due to negative practices such as undercutting the prices. Growth is expected to be driven by recapitalization of the industry, which remains dominant by the Kenyan-based companies. According to the National Bank of Rwanda, at the end of December 2015, the total assets of the industry increased by 12% to 306 billion Rwandan francs from 272 billion Rwandan francs end of December 2014. Women today are not afraid to take risks. There are a number of women in business and they are succeeding. Here in the show, we've spoken about women who've made it in the aviation industry, hospitality, and even banking industry. So clearly, the sky is not the limit for us ladies. Given the fact that today is Women's Day, I thought it would be great to get some advice from a woman who has made a 360 turn from poverty to serving her country in the military and being named one of the top 25 black women in business. Linda Singh is the Major General of the Maryland military, and she sat down with the Network Journal to talk about her journey as a businesswoman. I believe we can learn a thing or two from her. This video is courtesy of the Network Journal. Take a look.
Well, good morning, Sunshine. It's Stacey N.C. Grant, celebrity guest correspondent for the Network Journal's 25 most influential black women in business. I am so excited this morning because we get to start off our day with the beautiful and the talented Miss Linda Singh, Managing Director for Accenture. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your honor. I'm just so impressed by your bio, what you have done. You came from something that most people wouldn't equate with success, and that's from being homeless and a high school dropout to now being a successful 25 most influential woman in business. What did it take for you to never look back and move forward with your career in the military and beyond?
So thank you so much for the intro this morning. And I think when I think back to over my career, the three things that I really go by is one, being relentless. You have to be relentless in your pursuit. And I probably didn't understand that's what I was doing with all the fortitude and the strength and the faith that I had. The second thing is that you really have to kind of surround yourself by people who want to see you be successful. And that's building those relationships, kind of fostering that circle of influence that you have so that they can help prop you up. And I can tell you, I do not surround myself by negative people. I surround myself by people who have nothing but positive energy, because that is extremely important, because if you don't, that just kind of pulls you down. And then the last piece I would say is that you have to have that faith in yourself. No matter when the times get hard, you really do need to have the faith that things are going to change. You have to understand that, things may get tough, but, we're kind of like, when we go through life, it's really like growing up through a tree. There's branches and sequels. And depending on which branch you lead, you might come to a dead end and you might have to take a couple of steps back and then go to another branch. So, and at some point, being here and being one of the 25 most, influential black women in business is climbing to the top of the tree. And that's kind of the way I see it.
Excellent. As you can see, there's no doubt that you were relentless in your career. You even served over in Afghanistan. Tell us a little bit just about what you do on the day-to-day. So someone watching, someone aspiring to be an influential black woman in business, what was your career path and how would you suggest that they follow theirs?
Well, it's funny. I actually lead two dual careers. And so on the Accenture side, I am managing director, and I came in as an experienced hire through Accenture, so I didn't come in out of college. And I've been working in systems implementations and development, and I'm just actually starting to transition to a brand new job next week in Accenture as the Health and Public Service Director of Operations for our North America unit. And so that's a big step, but it's really having worked in the business, understanding the business, and making sure that people understand what I can do to kind of pull things forward. And then on my military side, I'm actually a brigadier general in the Maryland Army National Guard, of which I'm the commander of the Army side of the Guard in Maryland. So I have, almost 5,000 troops that I command. And that took me commanding at every single level, continuing to get my education. Education is most important to me. And so it's making sure that you have the right jobs, the right experiences, and taking advantage. When someone asks you to do something, you step forward and do it.
I love it. Now you can see why Miss Linda Singh is one of our 25 most influential women in business for the Network Journal's Breakfast this morning. We are thrilled to see your growth, to see your example of what's possible with relentless determination and education and access to the right network. So stay tuned. We have some other featured guests that'll be honored today that'll be on the networkjournal.com. This is Stacey N.C. Grant and the beautiful Linda Singh signing off.
So Linda Singh is the Major General in the Maryland military in the U.S. Yes? So she has command of about 5,000 troops, And on top of that, she has a business. Yes. So what I want us to talk about today, because we're celebrating women, I just want to first of all show off how women can be able to do it all. You know, you're in the military and you also have a business, and for sure she's also a woman in general. So she also has a family and all that.
She's even a mother. So.
Yes. So first of all, I wanted to talk about this and, just show that not only can we do it all, but we also do it very well. Because she was named the top, among the top 25 black women in business. And first of all, she's black, so that just encourages you.
Yes.
So I just want to ask you, now we'll start with Ivan.
Yes.
Just want to ask you, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts?
Well, this is a modern world today, and for me, I think this is one story, of course, out of many stories of women who are actually putting other women on the map. I think, even coming from a background that most of the women that we see today tend to, because of their background, you find that either they have been emotionally, depressed, or they have been mentally disturbed, and sometimes you find that this kind of women, this kind of affects their future or the way they progress or the way they portray the world. And for me, this is a successful story that should be an example for all women out there. As Moses was talking about, for example, in sports, same as the military, it's very hard to, find very many women in the military because, they say it's a hard job or what.
And in high-ranking positions. And
high-ranking. This is a major general, and it's absolutely a successful story. But one thing I think we need to learn from is that even you were talking about the idea of, trying to jangle around with things. She's a businesswoman. She's a mother, maybe. And she's in the military. Just being in the military is enough to make you go crazy, right? Because
Definitely.
And being in an American military, where I think it's even way crazy, I think.
You're in charge of the entire world.
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't say crazy, but it's a handful.
Yeah, it's a handful. You have a very busy schedule. You have people that you are held accountable for. You have a lot of things to do. And at the end of the day, she's a woman, a mother, and has a house, but she's able to jump around with everything. As you said, this is a possibility. And this is to show you that actually, let's prove people wrong. And for me, my dream, I was trying to envision you to try and make out your vision for women. But my dream is for us to see maybe in the next 30 years, to see a woman in a position, and we're not amazed. We look at it, you know what? This is what she was supposed to be. This is what we're meant to be. It's not a surprise.
Okay.
I think sometimes I feel like surprises, things like this, make people feel like, oh, she's there, I'm here. So I want a woman to look at that as I can be there too.
Yeah.
And it's possible. We are coming to it. Most women are thriving for it. We've seen a lot of girls go get a good education. I've seen many girls from Rwanda go on to the Ivy Leagues. I've seen very many women make an impact. And I'm like, this is exactly what we need today in the modern world. And I think this woman serves as a great example that you can be a multitask mom, multitask soldier. You can be a multitask businesswoman, and you can actually balance it and have a healthy and happy home.
So in general, she's a multitasker.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts?
He almost said everything.
Yes.
But really basically, what I would like to say is women in this society, in this modern world, as you just mentioned, is they are actually people who are very capable to do it all when they want to. And they've shown us and they've proved us that they are very much able and ready. See, This Major General, it's for me, I was very amazed after listening to her story on how she came from poverty to become in the military, to become a businesswoman. You know, the whole journey, she always found it difficult. There were so many times when she could leave it all, she could fall down. But she kept on trying, she kept on working hard, and she strived it. And you know, it is always to all the mothers who are outside, to all the young girls who are aspiring to be in higher leadership position, to influence the community and the society. You know, you should always say, what can I be able to offer in this world? Because if you are living in this world, because when you are born, every person, he or she is born, there is always a reason why you are born. So you must live a legacy behind. It should be in a positive rather than negative. And these are the women that are actually inspiring us. And we say, okay, thank you so much, God, that you've really made these women being here. We learn from them as men, because it's not only women that I'm not talking to right now, but I'm also talking to all men and young men who are also aspiring, because it is always a pleasure to see a girl making it. And when you are not making it yourself, say, but why can't I do it as she does? So this is a time when we should now start learning from girls rather than them learning from us. See, that's
Definitely.
where I want this world to go.
So another thing she mentioned, which I think is very imperative, is education. She talked about that, you know, she came from poverty, so she never really got an education. She's starting to get an education at this very moment. So she talked about how education was so important in everything. You know, getting that education. So I think it's important that we encourage everybody, you know, not only to empower women, but to, you know, fill them with knowledge. Let them never lack when it comes to education.
Yeah, and exactly. Maybe I could be wrong, but there's something that I've been observing, and I think it's very important we tell it to most of our Rwandan girls. There is a secret when a man, I understand it myself, that there is a secret when a man, for example, goes out to a woman that is educated. You know, education kind of empowers you in a way that is beyond what you can think. It's very important that as we go through these stages in life, women should not, for example, rush for marriage without finishing up their education. I understand that different circumstances in life, but sometimes people,
it just happens.
Yes,
but I think the most
happen.
important is that you finish your education.
Yes, and what happens normally
however long it takes.
Yes, but what happens mostly is that sometimes you find that they have lost that journey of education because they have maybe been in marriage or, you know, a lot of things. And it's very important that we become patient with education. Education can really take your time, but I think the results are worth it. Are worth it in your marriage, are worth it in whatever you're going to do, are worth it as a person. So I think it's something that we can learn from. And it's my advice out to very many friends out there that I know that are going through this. And it's very important because I've seen a lot of people struggle with it because they have not been able to accomplish what they were supposed to do.
And I agree. Thank you very much.
Definitely.
Well, there you have it. I mean, she can do it all, so can we all. I mean, we're all celebrating Women's Day today, and there are more stories that are going to be coming up. So you're up to date with today's business headlines. Sports news coming up in just a moment with Moses Mirikunzira.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sport news. I am Moses Mirikunzira. Starting with regional cycling. Cycling team Rwanda had a slow start at the Grand Tour of Algeria. The national cycling team had a rough start at the ongoing 22nd edition of annual Grand Cycling Tour of Algeria, which started on March 4th and runs until March 28th. Unlike the recently concluded African Continental Road Championship in Morocco, where Rwanda riders won 3 medals, 1 gold and 2 silver, the team has not showed signs of replicating the same in the first 2 days of the month-long race. The best Rwandan performer was Joseph Biziyaremye, who finished in 4th position, 32 seconds behind the winner, Vicos. Now in international tennis, Andy Murray won Triller to give Great Britain a victory in Davis Cup. Andy Murray beat Japan's Kei Nishikori in the grappling contest to secure a victory of the defending champions, Great Britain, in Davis Cup first round. The Scot won 7-5, 7-6 before he lost 8-6 and 3-6, and he also won 4-6, 6-3 after 4 hours and 54 minutes to give the host an unsellable 3-1 lead in the best-of-5 tie in Birmingham. World number 1 Novak Djokovic took almost 5 hours to beat Mikhail Kukushkin 6-7, and he lost 6-8, 7-6, and again he won 7-3, 4-6, and 6-3 to beat a Serbian, and he leveled their tie with Kazakhstan at 2-2. Britain will play Serbia away in the July quarterfinals. And finally, the follow-up on Premier League. West Bromwich dent Manchester United chance of top 4 in 1-win victory on Sunday. West Bromwich and their first home league with a win against Manchester United for 32 years, as Solomon London's low strike on 66th minute beat the 10-men visitors. United played for more than an hour without Juan Mata, who received 2 bookings inside the 3 minutes. United rarely looked like equalizing as they lost ground on the top 4. Elsewhere, a stoppage time penalty by Christian Benteke gave 10-man Liverpool a dramatic 2-1 win over Crystal Palace. That defeat left Crystal Palace without a win in 12 Premier League matches.
Flying has become such a breeze. With Rwanda, you'll save on money and time. Fly for as low as $249 to Entebbe, $280 to Mombasa, $305 to Nairobi, $329 to Dar es Salaam, $329 to Dubai, $505 to Accra, and take advantage of 35% discount to more destinations across Africa and the Middle East. For reservations, please dial 07881 700 or email reservations@rwandair.com or contact your preferred travel agents. You may also book and pay online via rwandair.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Let's take a look at news making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
The First Lady Jeanette Kagame has called on nations to develop strategies to counter challenges such as neonatal and maternal deaths and new HIV infection. The First Lady was speaking in Nairobi, Kenya after taking part in the First Ladies Half Marathon, which is part of a campaign to curb new HIV infections and promote better maternal and child health. The campaign, named Beyond Zero, is aimed at raising funds for the setup of mobile clinics up in the various counties of Kenya.
The United Nations High Commission for Refugees, UNHCR, has appealed for more urgent funding for the Burundian refugees that have so far shot to more than 250,000. UNHCR spokesperson Melissa Fleming announced the funding gap during a news briefing in Geneva on Friday. She said UNHCR requested $175.1 million for the Burundi humanitarian response in 2016 and has to date received $4.7 million, or about 3%.
And in other news, votes are being counted in Benin, where 33 candidates are fighting to become president. Thomas Boniayi is stepping down as leader in the West African nation of 10.6 million people after 2 terms. The ruling party's candidate is Prime Minister Lionel Zinsou, who used to head France's largest investment bank. Sunday's election was delayed after problems with the distribution of polling cards, an issue that continued until the day before the vote.
And in international news, U.S. President Barack Obama led tributes to former First Lady Nancy Reagan, who died at the age of 94. Mr. Obama and wife Michelle said they were fortunate to benefit from Mrs. Reagan's proud example. Mrs. Reagan, who died of congestive heart failure in Los Angeles on Sunday, was also praised by other senior U.S. politicians and foreign leaders. Her 52-year marriage to Ronald Reagan was once described as the U.S. presidency's greatest love affair.
Well, Yvette, that was very sad news for the Americans. We know Reagan has left a very big legacy, especially to the American people. And of course, now the living icon, his wife, Nancy, had to pass away. And of course, it's very sad news to Americans. And of course, very sad news to the White House too.
Yes, we send our condolences.
All right, now at one positive side where we have to energize, we take a look at what's hot right now in a daily debate section, Hot Topics, with, of course, Yvette Shumbusho. We'll be right back after the break.
In January 2014, Beyond Zero Foundation was founded to partner with the government of Kenya in reducing maternal and child mortality. Spearheaded by the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Her Excellency Margaret Kenyatta. The Beyond Zero campaign is part of the initiative which outlines her strategic framework towards HIV control, promotion of maternal and newborn and child health in Kenya. So the campaign has acquired and launched 36 zero mobile clinics, including Taita Taveta, Samburu, Narok, Homa Bay, Baringo, Isiolo, Turkana, and Marsabit, just to name a few. The campaign raises money through annual marathon and even through from other donors. And our very own First Lady, Her Excellency Janet Kagame, joined in the efforts last week on Sunday. Yes, our First Ladies are coming together and are doing something remarkable.
I love the initiative.
She always lead the way.
Yes.
She always does.
Yes. So I'm just going to give out some statistics. So 180,000 children die annually in Kenya because of some complications when they've been, when they're born.
Health.
Yes, so they usually don't even see up to their 5th birthday. And others are infected by HIV, so obviously they die because of the virus. And then 5,500 women also die annually because of HIV, and also pregnancy-related complications. And also we have 25,000 women who are aged between maybe 15 to 24 who get infected by HIV. So this is a really big problem. One is HIV, two is mortality. Yes, mortality. So making sure that the children do not die, and also the mothers don't die while giving birth. So Beyond Zero campaign is just about making sure that they get all the facilities needed, because sometimes clinics are so far. And in this some of the towns I've mentioned, like Marsabit and Isiolo, the clinics are probably like kilometers away from where people actually have settled. So what Beyond Zero is about raising money and being able to facilitate these people with mobile clinics. Yes, so that will be able to put down the number. I mean, we're able to decrease the number of mortalities among women and children. So far, 300,000 Kenyans have been served by these mobile clinics. Yes. So the First Ladies are doing so much right now. And of course, our very own First Lady, Her Excellency Janet Kagame, was there in Kenya running the half marathon. So first of all, I just want to get your thoughts again, since I've given you all the statistics. I'll start with Moses right now.
Definitely. For me, I'm always supportive to every single woman who steps up to create the environment for the better future of others. So Her Excellency, First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, what she does is not only saving people, but also make sure that the country of Kenya is part of the country that reduces the numbers when it comes to HIV transmission from mother to child, when it comes to mortality, when women are giving birth, and also other diseases that can affect the women and children. And our very own High Excellency Janet Kagame, the First Lady of Rwanda, she is actually one of the leaders when it comes to saving women's life through reducing HIV transmission to maternity, and also saving mother and child transmission of HIV. Because when you look at the job that she has done in Rwanda, it's very tremendous, and it has set up the pace to entire African continent. So her participation in that Kenyan in marathon in Kenya is actually a surplus to me. I'm actually very much excited, and the fact that she's giving her contribution to also play a role to make sure that also Kenyans' lives because they are our brothers and sisters from another
plus we've
mother
integrated.
And we are integrated, and also, and you know, there's a lot of Kenyans can learn from us, and we can learn from them also. But this is a very important marathon that I wish also it can, there could be an integration between countries and communities that we could also contribute.
Yeah, so we can have like Beyond Zero, Rwandan edition, Kenyan. Okay, wait, there's already in Kenya, Ugandan, Tanzanian, and
all people in East African community can actually have, like, this might be $1 campaign to every person living in East African community, of which we can somehow be able to afford, and then we save people's lives, because that is a very important thing. And the fact that this is a perfect timing on Women's Day, I mean, that makes it much more
that's why I did amazing. What I did.
Well, I would say something, Yvette. Of course, Africa still has a problem of high mortality rates and a lot of maternal issues because of mothers dying, and part of what the Sustainable Development Goals out there for is to make sure that we have, you know, a healthy, we reduce these numbers. And I'm very happy because the number one people that have been driving this area are the first ladies. They are trying to use their positions, and I think which is very good, to make sure that they at least curb down the numbers. I've seen different advertisement and awareness campaigns by different first ladies across Africa, of course, including Madame Jeanette Kagame. I've seen the first lady Ethiopia and all the other countries, Uganda. I've seen them on TV. And I think this is an initiative like Beyond Zero is a very good initiative. Part of some of the countries that has a high death rates of babies who die before they're even 5. One of those countries is Kenya. It's not necessarily to say that Kenya can't curb it. Kenya can curb it, and I think one of the ways how they can do that, of course, is through such kind of initiative. And I think even the mere fact that they're trying to reduce the HIV rates, which is still a very big issue, and this is a great initiative, and I think the mere fact that is driven by these first ladies, then there could be hope that at least by the time we come to 2030, when the Sustainable Development Goals are coming up, we should be having very good results, because, again, this is something that is very preventable from happening.
Of course.
Yeah.
With actually Rwanda reducing the numbers so fast, but it takes a lot, because again we're a country that has very few resources, but it's just beyond resources. It's also beyond awareness, teaching people.
It's just making sure that we put our efforts together.
Absolutely, having the right infrastructure that can care for the mothers and the babies. Having, of course, these campaigns are very important for people to go out and know their HIV status. Teaching women about even caring about for their babies before they give birth, so that in case you're even infected, your baby doesn't have to be infected.
Yes, exactly. We have to make sure that, in normal circumstances, when you're pregnant, you have to go for checkups like at least every month, or I'm not sure exactly how often it is, but at least it's quite frequent.
Yes.
And these mothers in these different isolated towns don't have that. They don't have that possibility.
Yes.
The facilities are so far, but with the mobile clinics, they'll be able to have their regular checkups while they're pregnant, and these pregnancy-related complications will decrease.
The future is bright there.
The future is bright for all our women and our young brothers and sisters.
Definitely. So thank you, and continue to be a part of the Beyond Zero campaign. So don't go away. We'll be right back with some hot topics. Welcome back, and it's that hot topics time again. As always, the Rise and Shine Rwanda team have been out and about gathering everything you need to know about what's going on on Twitter and on your local debates in cafes. We've got it right here, right now. So ladies are usually cautious about their appearance. The thinner the body, the better, and the lighter the skin, the prettier. But is that necessarily true? Well, that is something we're going to find out. I mean, we're always looking for approval from men. We might as well get their opinion. And of course, the people that are going to be here sitting with me, Moses Frikunzira and Ivan Magwene, that we're going to be talking to. So when it comes to talking about the appearance of a lady, take a couple of days to finish. So we're going to narrow it to skin bleaching.
Quite a good
Yes.
topic there.
Since it's Women's Day, it's everything women.
Yeah.
In fact, I should have hosted the show with just women, but it's good to have men
Should
around.
maybe next time we should put on some dresses.
Oh, no.
And it's just a jack.
Goodness. So bleaching. We know that, we're given so much pressure to look our very best. You know, a lot of the people say if you're not so light skinned, then you're not so pretty. If you're not so thin, then you're not so attractive. And what do you think about that? I'll start with you, Moses. I don't think it's true, by the way. But what do you think, Moses?
To me, either way, I don't think it's true because you have your natural your natural beauty that you were created with, and you can always be beautiful if you maintain that. But again, when you look at beautiness in chemical products, then it becomes a different story. We have so many examples of listen to the Chan games that happened in Rwanda. So many Congolese actually in Rwanda. They are a perfect example to actually
No offense to
it's
Congolese
not offense,
people.
but it has been the reality.
It's Africans in general, to be
it's
honest.
Africans in general, but for West African, it's a bit much. The practices is even much bigger. But again, even Rwandans, we've seen some of our very own young ladies and sisters that are also applying this. And even men also.
Yes.
I've seen men also
Yes.
who are trying to be brown. And
Yes,
they
I have a
naturally
couple
born-
of pictures that will show you men. I mean, Michael Jackson is one of those.
is one of them. Some of them in the modern world now, they are using plastic surgery to
Yes.
completely transform
Definitely.
their skin. I mean, well, to me, I don't believe it. I'm happy to be who I am, the way I am. And I believe that you are, so do I, so do you.
Yes.
So I think we should not really try to become, not natural, to me, it doesn't make sense, but people have their own
So you
opinion.
like a woman that is natural with
Natural.
her skin, whether she's as big as what or as thin as
No.
anything,
When
you
you are
perfectly
big,
don't mind
being
it.
big, you can actually reduce your weight by doing sports, by practicing sports.
What if they say they're heavy bone and this is how they've always been? Would you still love them that way?
Definitely.
Good.
Yeah.
On to you.
Well,
What do you think about that? Does it mean that because you're thinner, you're better or more attractive, or because you're lighter, you're prettier?
Yeah. Well, funny enough, you are giving a very good example of Congolese. One thing about Congolese also, there was also a story done, I think, by the Voice of America, Africa, whereby you find that actually women that are in Congo suffer if you're small. Actually, Congolese prefer women that are bigger. You see, even in Nigeria.
In Uganda, there's a joke that called Mazongoto. Double bend.
So actually, what you see is one man's meat is another man's poison. And
Very true.
yes.
I like that.
I honestly feel like, well, the problem I think is, of course, with the modern world, I think it has become also the mere fact that all these young girls, they see all these celebrities, or they see their fellow girls, with the idea of selfies. I mean, this is spoiling our kids. This is killing our society. Because you look at the person on the social media page and you want to be like them, you want to have the same skin. Even some people have gone ahead in America to commit suicide because they cannot look like somebody.
And a lot of these social medias, they have filters.
Yes, and
But
absolutely.
they should remove that filter factor.
And be natural. But one
Be
thing
natural.
I believe,
Let the picture be the way it is.
Yes, one thing I believe, honestly, and I stand for, is the fact that people need to learn, of course, to appreciate who they are and feel so comfortable in their body. Because at the end of the day, this is your body, and whenever you're trying, there's this thing people try to convince themselves, this is my body, I can do whatever I want with it.
Yes.
But again, remember, that's your body, and it is scientific. Trying to change the melanin of your skin is very dangerous using all these chemicals. It's not only African women. Also, there are very many African American women that are doing so. We have seen very many examples, and I think it's very dangerous. Not only dangerous, actually, these people need help. You need some counseling to learn to appreciate yourself. And for people out there, I think in case you're going through this, you actually need to go out to a counselor, appreciate yourself, feel comfortable in your body. And I've loved some Hollywood movies that are teaching people to feel feel comfortable, because this is something that is actually causing a lot of suicides around the world. People are not appreciating who they are, feel comfortable in their skin. Some parts of Africa, they love dark women.
Exactly.
You get it?
In fact,
Yes.
no offense to the lighter people, but I do feel like when they do say that the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
And there's another joke, of course. I got it from my executive producer Doreen, where she said that some men actually have actually might date their ex-girlfriend because they are bleached and changed.
Exactly. It's so true. You might date your ex because they clearly have changed all around. And I believe that skin bleaching is definitely not right. I mean, for all sorts of reasons, in terms of health and in terms of social
Not only that,
reasons.
to me, it also serves as a short-term, a short-term solution to what you personal. And longer term, it really brings a lot of problems longer term, because you end up having cancer. Skin cancer, and then
you probably even look worse.
Definitely, we've seen people.
We've seen how sometimes bleaching goes the other way around, and you start looking like. If people
watch this E-News, if you watch the program Botched, where people do, and it's tremendously like the worst ever.
It's the worst.
And I don't want to wish any other thing. I just want people to feel natural by themselves. You're so beautiful in your body.
Stop it.
All
Thank you. Thank God I grew up with people, at least my parents encouraging me and telling me that at least my skin color is good. But yes, definitely we need to encourage each other, whether it is your sister, your friend, your girlfriend, your wife. I mean, just encourage each other and show them that they are truly beautiful the way they are. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And as long as you're big and you look healthy and you're at least exercising and you're well, I mean, I think everything is okay.
Most of people trying to turn a negative into positive when you are told you are big. You end up using that word to become bigger financially, popularly, socially, so many influence many people.
I also know this joke where people say, with Diamond, the Tanzanian artist, there's this picture before he was famous and he had all his fortune. They said that he was not ugly, he was just poor. But the minute he got money, he became very handsome. So, sometimes it's just how you, keep yourself looking well, I guess, I
think it's very important we care for our bodies, because, again, this is the body you live in. But don't care by changing it.
Yeah,
no
changing it.
Just take care of it.
And maybe, a lot of people might not listen because they feel that because we don't have issues with our skin colors, we don't know what we're talking about, but it's simply an encouragement to everybody feeling low or they have a low self-esteem in terms of their skin, that you are beautiful just the way God created you. So before we end it and before we end this great celebration of women, I wanted to tell you a really funny joke. So apparently Women's Day was supposed to be celebrated on the 6th of March. So it's 2 days before. Yes, 2 days earlier. However, because women are always late in preparing themselves, they ended up celebrating on the 8th of March.
Okay.
And now, so we need to work on our punctuality, ladies. But also, men were supposed to have a Men Day, or a Man's Day or something. But because they're always forgetting, it has never happened.
Always forgetting everything.
So at least we've left you with something a bit funny.
And happy Women's Day.
Yes, happy Women's Day.
For sure.
And hopefully we've tickled your ribs.
Every single young man, every single lady, every single woman, you are so beautiful, and be yourself. Please, always be yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. Happy Women's Day. So now we're going to go on a short break. We'll be right back. Don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us your ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports we do. Finally, find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We love to see your pictures. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website, www.riseandshinerwanda.com. Well, that is all the time we have for you today. We'd love to hear your feedback, especially on the topics that we have been talking about, skin bleaching, and Women's Day, and everything in total. But for now, we've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Yvette Shumbusho.
And me, Ivan Magwene. We'll be at same time, same place tomorrow. Do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team, have a very good day. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.